The demise of the Utah Jazz happened swiftly and shockingly, as Danny Ainge stunned us all by pulling off a trade that sent Rudy Gobert to the Timberwolves. It was an impressive haul of picks for the gangly center, but most of us started wondering instantly how changing Karl-Anthony Towns' position will affect his robust production. With a 13th ranked defense, it's clear Rudy will elevate them into top 10 stinginess, but before we get to that part, I dug deep into head coach Chris Finch's offensive sets to figure out where they can plug Rudy into and whether it'll be good enough to keep defenses honest. The first thing that stood out to me is that Finch almost never played two bigs on the floor at the same time, and this makes sense. Force the other team to put their biggest and slowest defender on Towns and let him go to work. But there are some possessions where Naz Reid shared the court with Cat, and there is something to be gleaned from the initial alignments used. That's about as far as we can extrapolate, considering Reid is actually a threat to shoot the ball from the outside, unlike Gobert. The biggest difference is that Minnesota cannot stash Rudy in the corner like they did with Reid. If you think Collins is willing to ignore his man here, he'd definitely clog the paint if it were Rudy. The Hawks even get away with putting Trae Young on Reid in that weak side corner as they run Spain pick and roll, and there just isn't a lot of open paint space. One reason why the Wolves ranked 25th in drives per game last year. They like to overload the weak side and run pick and roll with Cat out top, but it allows the paint to be clogged and force more difficult shots, as it would be easy to picture Rudy in the dunker spot here. Look at how much space they could create by putting Reid in the weak side corner and spreading 5 out, as Cat's man won't leave him to help on the drive. This simply wouldn't happen if Rudy was in the corner. One set that should work with both Cat and Gobert is horns. Towns is a dominant threat with the ball at the elbow, which puts a lot of pressure on the defense, and Rudy would be able to pivot and set this pin down for the weak side corner, where he'd be a threat to slip the screen and get a dunk, or simply open an opportunity for the cutter to get into the paint for an easy score. Here's another option that would work well with the Twin Towers. Rudy could flare a screen for the point guard, then slip to the hoop for a nice feed from Towns, who would be passing over a smaller defender. When both Cat and Rudy are out there, I imagine Rudy sets the bulk of the ball screens, with Cat's gravity opening up more space out top. This inside ball screen should be very viable since the strong side corner is empty. No help defense from that side. Edwards has his pick of wide open Towns 3 or pass for a layup to Rudy. Edwards is poised to make another jump as he inches toward MVP caliber player, and I'm sure defenses will want to jump to him on these inside ball screens, opening up free runs to the hoop for Rudy to just catch and dunk. This set still works if it's Cat screening and Rudy in the dunker spot, since the short roll forces the help to rotate over, and Edwards continues to improve his decision making on the fly. I have no doubt Anthony Edwards' development this summer will catapult him into another level, and the key is his robust training routine that will get him there. And it's the same kind of routine you need to do with geology, skincare that is so important to me now that I've gotten no less than 3 unsolicited compliments recently telling me I look much younger than my age. Geology asks you a few questions, then their team of dermatologists designed a regimen just for you. Their face wash smells amazing with a strong citrus scent. It's thick and really rubs into your skin, and when you rinse it off, it leaves my skin feeling cleaner, tighter, and fresher than anything I've ever used before. Click the link below and you can take the 30-second diagnostic quiz, and best of all, get 70% off your first purchase. Trust me when I tell you this is a game changer, and I was someone who'd never pondered skincare before. But as we all get older, it's more vital to take care of your skin with Geology. So save 70% with my promo code CoachNick. Geology, good ingredients, good skin, it's that simple. Talent is such a threat on his rolls that it should open up plenty of opportunities for Rudy to cram the ball in the basket from close range. Normally, Smart would bump down to help the helper, but even if that did happen, it would open up a wide open three-pointer for Anthony Edwards, a win-win situation. Again, picture Rudy patiently waiting in the dunker spot while Towns gets the short roll attack at the top of the key. Once the help comes over, he can make this pass, and the only question is whether Rudy will fumble it or not on the catch. The Wolves' offense is full of alignments like this where they don't fully spread the floor, but it still worked for them, as this way high ball screen gives a lot of downhill room Cat must be attended to, and that allows him to dump off the pass for another dunk. One of my favorites is Spain pick and roll, and while Edwards didn't get any opportunities in this set as the ball handler, it's time to get it in his hands. Imagine him having this much space when the defense tries to switch the back screener's man onto him. While Beverley didn't attack to his weak hand, Edwards would make this a dunk or a lob. The key is to make Cat screen the ball screener's man. Because he's such a threat to shoot it, teams don't like to leave him, and Rudy is such a lob threat that I can't see how you'd stop this very easily. I'm excited to see Edwards facilitate a bit more this year. Picture Rudy setting the step-up screen with Cat out top. O'Neal doesn't want to help off of him, and Edwards is such a load on the drive that he can easily compress the defense into the lane, and you don't have to be accurate at all to lob it to Rudy Gobert. Defensively, they weren't too bad last year, ranking 13th in defensive rating. Losing Patrick Beverley will certainly hurt, but gaining Gobert will no doubt help them get into the top 10. One of their biggest struggles last year was defending cutters around the rim, primarily because Towns struggled to move quickly enough and maintain energy to finish the whole play. One interesting thing is that it appears they like to hedge ball screens a lot, which opens up rolls to the basket. Towns gets there in time, but has a natural inclination to go for the steal rather than try to block the shot. And he also couldn't muster the second effort consistently to be effective down low against NBA finishers. This is a distinct difference to Rudy's energy level around the rim. If you're a driver and can't initiate enough contact to draw a foul, then you're probably missing, but look how he pops back into the play to block the putback attempt. He got faked out on this pass and yet can still get back in the play to knock this point-blank shot back out to the three-point line. Guys don't even try to shoot the ball when he contests, and he's remarkable in his recovery ability to turn away what would have been a surefire two-point dunk. Getting a team out of mediocrity requires bold moves, and that's certainly what Minnesota did with this trade. Between Edwards' ascendancy and Cat's offensive creativity, there is plenty of scoring punch to go along with one of the best defensive anchors of this generation. While my initial thoughts were that this couldn't possibly work, and certainly there's always an issue with Rudy in the playoffs, there is no doubt they'll improve by at least 5 wins, get a higher seed in the postseason, and win that first round series with home court advantage.